Go. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Harun Hussein Salengam bin Herman. Uh, my group today, group number one, group A, will be discussing our fila table because in our previous meeting we have already discussed our points, our task division. I am the chairperson, and Zahid today will be our scribe or secretary. For the first two facts will be presented by Ayman Hakim. Please continue, Ayman Hakim.
Okay, hello everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mama Ayman Hakim, and I will be proceeding to present facts we have obtained from the case study. So the first fact that we have then is the contaminated seaweeds in Sydney Harbour could be threatening small animals that feed on them. According to UNSW research, that revealed that the harbour seaweeds had the world's highest levels of copper and lead contamination. So the ideas that we have gained is how does the contaminated seaweeds threaten small animals that feed on them? The second one, where does the copper and lead source from at the harbour? So this question means where does the copper and lead come from? The third fact is does the population of the area affect the rate of pollution occurring in the vicinity? So the learning outcomes and issues that we have obtained is it comes from the food chain. The second one is it is the effects of industrial activities on the waterways. And the third one is the negative effects of the highly populated areas toward the preservation of the environment. Okay, move on to second fact. We can see that up to 75% of the offspring of the small crustaceans that feed on the common brown seaweed, for example, are killed when they are exposed to copper at certain levels found in some parts of the harbour. And the NSW laboratory and also field experiments have shown this result to be true. So the ideas that we have gained is what type of crustaceans that feeds on the common brown seaweed. The second one is what level of exposure uh, to copper that caused these crustaceans to die. And the third one is do adult crustaceans are also affected by exposure to certain copper levels. And the learning issues and outcome that we have gained is the diets of individual species of organisms, toxicity of the certain metals at certain levels in the water towards aquatic organisms, differences in durability between an older organism compared to a younger version of it. That's all for my part. Now, Edric will be presenting facts 3 and 4. Please proceed.
Thank you, Amin Hakim. I'll continue with facts 4 and facts 3 and facts 4. For facts 3, the concentrations of copper, lead, and zinc in the species of brown seaweed found in Woolloomooloo Bay, Ball's Head Bay, and Rushcutters Bay equal or exceed levels found in the Hong Kong Islands and Brazil's Sepetiba Bay, which are among the world's most heavy metal contaminated waterways. And the ideas can be collected from the facts is the first one, what are the concentrations of heavy metals found in Hong Kong and Brazil? Next, why are heavy metals dangerous to crustaceans? Based on these ideas, we can learn that the locations in the world where concentrations of heavy metals are high enough to cause harm to aquatic. Besides, the types of heavy metals found in contaminated waterways. Facts number 4. These seaweeds bioaccumulate metals inside their tissues and scientists use them to monitor environmental pollutants. The ideas that can be obtained from this fact is the first one, how does seaweeds bioaccumulate metals inside their tissues? The second one, how do scientists monitor environmental pollutants? The learning outcome from these ideas is the first one, rate of absorption and excretion of contaminants by aquatic organisms. The next one is methods in keeping track of pollution of the environment. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Edric. For
Thank you,
facts,
Edric.
5 and 6 will be presented by Zahin. All right. Please continue, Zahin.
Okay, for facts 5, the study reveals that high concentrations of copper in one seaweed species, Padina crassa, were associated with a low abundance of grazing amphipods, small shrimp-like creatures that feed on algae. The ideas that we got from this fact is what is the ideal habitat of species of amphipods, and do amphipods only feed on algae? The learning outcome that we got from this idea is the ideal habitat of individual species of amphipods and also the diets of amphipods as an omnivore. Fact number 6. The habitats that we sampled within Sydney Harbour contain among the highest concentrations of metals yet identified in brown seaweeds, says Study Lake Arthur, UNSW biologist Dr. David Roberts. The idea from this fact is how is a sampling done and what is the highest concentration of metals found in brown seaweeds recorded. The first learning outcome that we got from this fact is the techniques of sampling and also that brown seaweed being commonly used to test for pollution in water.
Okay, thank you, Zahin. For facts 7 and 8, the presenter will be me. For fact 7, in 7 of the 10 sample harbor sites, we measured copper concentrations in one seaweed species that exceeded levels known to threaten small crustaceans. These concentrations exceed all previously scientific reported levels. For the ideas on this fact, why do only 7 out of the 10 harbor sites have high concentrations of heavy metals? And what is present in those 7 places that are not present in the remaining 3? For the learning outcomes, different harbors might have different environments that allow for different conditions. This means that in different harbors, there might be varying boat traffic or uh, industrial areas. And the second learning outcome is factors that are involved in the water pollution. For facts number 8, co-authors Dr. Alistair Poor and Dr. Emma Johnson say that the results of this and previous UNSW studies suggest that other animals higher up the food chain may be indirectly suffering the consequences of pollution. For the ideas, why are animals higher up in the food chain indirectly suffering the consequences of pollution? And why are the effects suffered by those higher and what are the effects suffered by those higher up in the food chain? The learning outcomes from this fact is concentrated contaminant level caused by consumption of contaminated food in the food web, and lethal effects of consuming contaminated populations of prey organisms. That is all for the facts, ideas, and learning outcomes. Next is the action plan. For the action plan, we discussed it as a group on WhatsApp, Discord, and Zoom. We searched for answers in lecture notes, websites, and journals, and we also debated whether the answers are applicable or valid in the situations given, which we have done in previous meetings. For the resources needed, we needed to use journals, websites, lecture notes, articles, and reports. Finally, some of the difficult terms that we have discovered in this article are UNSW, meaning University of New South Wales, bioaccumulate, meaning substances being concentrated in the body of living things, and stormwater, water that comes from precipitation and or ice and snow melt. It either soaks into exposed soil or remains on top of the impervious surfaces like pavement or rooftops. That is all for our group on our Fila table. Thank you.